Chase, would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay.
What? You really just want me to just rip you a new one. I swear to God.
Are you like, Chase, how dare you be transphobic?
Yes, actually. What the do you mean? Yes, that was so
Because if I
unnecessary.
had sex with a trans woman, I'd be having sex with a biological man, and I don't want to do that.
The question is,
that's not what you said, though. That's fine. If that's
Because
what you
I'd
want
be
to say.
gay if I had sex with a
That's not
biological
gay.
man.
That's not gay.
That's
And
gay.
I don't even care if you're doing this for like whatever, but like shut the f up, actually.
I'm doing
you
it
look
for
like
what
you have a
Hey,
leader
why
respect
don't-
his
why don't-
street
That's too far.
identity.
That's
Why don't
too fucking
you Why don't
far.
you make me
That's
shut
too
the
far.
fuck up? Because I have an opinion that differs from yours.
This is like Inception.
I mean, that's really
But
hateful,
she's
bro.
not. She's not. It would technically be homosexual. A trans woman is a biological man. Sue me. It's true.
Fuck, dude, that's mean. I also gotta go.
It's
I gotta
not
go.
fucked up. It's real.
That's
It's
his,
true.
Okay, if you guys want to
It's
respect
factual.
gender identities, that's his though. That's his sexuality.
Any opinions you want, but
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, from a biological woman who doesn't even have any trans friends, that was too fucking far. A man of God who doesn't judge a Christian, yeah.
Yeah. You know what God said? It said He made them man and women. He made them man and woman. I just told you I'm not gay. I'll pass on that. Thanks though. Who knew that stating biological facts would make people walk off the show?
Okay, that's the clip. Recently, that clip has gone crazy viral everywhere. A ton of people have been sharing it. I think Ben Shapiro retweeted it. A ton of more conservative outlets have shared it. First question, Keeko, would you date Chase?
Absolutely not.
Just into the mic, but
Absolutely not.
okay, so it's gone viral. It's been everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
What I guess my question is, and Ali, if you're welcome to, if you want to share your thoughts on this, but do you have any thoughts?
Yes.
Your reaction to the clip?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we watched the full one at least, because
Oh,
there's an edited one going around Twitter, which is not superly edited, but it is cut out a lot to where it makes it seem like he said one thing and I just got up and stormed out. And to the people who messaged me, I've gained a lot of messages. If you want to come into my messages and we can talk about it in a cordial way, I have no problem doing so. My issue was, okay, if Chase would have got up in here and said, I choose to sleep with the oldest woman in the world rather than the hottest trans person, that's my preference, I wouldn't have said a damn thing. When you throw in it because it's gay, because they are biological men, because that is a gay act, that is now turning into your opinion and no longer a fact, because there is many straight men who choose to sleep and date trans women, and that does not make them any less than a straight man. Now, to Chase, if that man is now gay, that's his personal opinion. That is Chase's opinion. That's all I was saying, is I'm not going to get up here on a podcast that has 2+ million subscribers and start talking about the trans community. Oh, now, well, but back when, I'm not going to lie, back when it was posted, you had 2.1. So that's very interesting. Now that you have 3, you had 2.1.
No, I've had
Nope.
3.8.
I have a screenshot of it.
Nope.
Okay.
I've had 3.8 for a while.
Oh, really?
Before I even started the podcast, we're slowly, we'll hit 4. But in any case, that's kind of
Congratulations.
That
Anyways, even worse, I'm not going to sit up here on a podcast with almost 4 million subscribers with not a single trans person present at the table and start having that conversation, because I hope to have a future in California personally as well. So things like that are just, you can have your opinion, you can have your preferences. There's nothing wrong with that. His preference does not make him transphobic at all. I honestly would have never even brought up that word. Chase is the one who brought up the word transphobic. Sure. I never even would have mentioned that. I would have liked to not have taken it there. But yeah, I was super late for work. I was already telling everybody at the table I had to leave for work an hour previous. Conversation was starting to get to a topic that I was not comfortable being present with.
Okay.
And I would do it again.
So you think it's wrong to view it as gay?
No. I'm not saying that at all. He can view that as a gay act. It's wrong for him to sit up here and say that it's a fact. It's a fact. That is his opinion. That is not a fact.
Sure. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If a male and a male have sex, is that gay?
Are we talking about two cis males to trans males? What are we talking? Yeah, if there are two people who identify as males are having sex, then yeah.
Can I just interrupt you really quick? I want to be very precise in the language I use here. When I use male, I mean something very precise. So I'm talking about sex. So male is in reference to sex. Now, there's discussion over man and woman, men and women. However, I'm asking you, if two males have sex, is that homosexual? Is that gay?
That's the thing.
You can't be a cis male.
No, here's the thing though.
Yes,
you can. Yes.
Yes, you can. There's like a lot of evidence scientifically to back up the reality that assigned sex and gender are two different things, and gender is something created by human culture.
And that's what sexuality is based off of.
I have a degree in biology, and that is a fact.
So, and for him to say that you can't ask me that without me knowing the sexuality or things at play, because that's what sexuality is all about, is what the genders and everything on top of that. If you just say, two chromosome males that have that, everything else, it also matters as well.
But that's okay, I'm asking you if two males, so that's irrespective of their gender identity, if two males have sex, is that homosexuality? Is that gay? I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just asking, is that gay?
Is it two males who identify as males? Like, I don't know. It could be not homosexual sex. It could be fucking not. I'm not even saying hetero is the other way, but it's not black and white, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I would appreciate if people could understand that, just like how I'm not saying my opinions are a fact either.
Okay. Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
I have thoughts.
Do you want to?
I mean, I don't, it's pretty standard, right? So it's going to be hard for Brian in general to get a trans person on the podcast because it's less than 1% of the population. It might be growing. So that's just not likely to occur. That's the same argument that people make about trans sports. It's not really possible usually to recruit these folks to begin with.
Before you continue, so I don't forget your first statement and you can go on. Okay, but it's not something we need to talk about to begin with, though.
Yeah, we don't have to, but he just asked for my opinion. I would say, we should probably do away with gender. I think Americans are really ignorant about gender. They want to say that it's a social construct. They don't know the history of it. You all should look up Margaret Mead. What do
you mean that gender is not a social construct? Because there's so much psychological evidence to back that up.
Okay, psychological evidence made by old white men at universities that we all bought into. They decided to push this stuff down our throats. But I will say Americans are just ignorant on the history of gender. There's a woman, Margaret Mead. She's an anthropologist. She observed that there were multiple genders in other cultures. They were all finite. There wasn't 72 genders, and it wasn't non-binary, it wasn't fluid. Other cultures, not typically in American culture, it could be a new thing, that's fine, right? But other cultures, there's been documented 3 genders, 4 genders, there's never been more than that. So we like to say gender is a social construct. Do we really know what that means? Are we educated on it?
You just described gender being a social construct just now when you say that other cultures have a different understanding of gender than we do.
Right, okay, but...
So you're backing up the reality that gender is a social construct.
If we're going to call it a social construct, then we need to know the history of it. We can't just be pontificating, coming out with 72 genders and entertaining the idea of being non-binary, which is being fluid. You know what I mean?
Where is there documented that we have 72 genders somewhere?
I think that you're the person who's bringing this idea up.
Are you sure that's not just buzz things that were being thrown out?
No, I'm positive. There's even neo pronouns right now, but it doesn't even.
I think we're stuck on. Okay, but before you continue, this is starting to get into the debate where I think maybe we will see this a lot more. Where maybe it's because I don't know where you said you grew up in the Midwest, so maybe not. I grew up in San Francisco, so where maybe I can recognize these things a little bit quicker. Mm-hmm. Even I don't care if there's a written documented article or not, because it goes back so far now where there's so many things that get thrown in conservatives' faces to make that the right or liberals or people who are the LGBT to seem insane, and they just bite onto it. I remember I saw people really believing that LGBT people had a problem with Santa Claus being a man. People will actually believe that that's a thing, and then it becomes this whole thing. There's not many people who are gender fluid who believe there's 72 genders.
I know.
That's just straight shit to get thrown in your face to distract you from the real problems.
Right. So less than 1% of the population even identifies as trans, and then even less than that would identify as non-binary. It's like 0.29%, I think, of that particular demographic would even identify as non-binary. These are really infinitesimally small numbers. So, like, we keep accommodating society based on this very small pool of people that's called minority influence. Like, honestly, I think it's just a pathway to something like much darker, something like transhumanism. But like, these are very complex concepts that I don't think are like helpful necessarily to have on a podcast. I just think that there are two sexes, and most men would perceive it as like some kind of gayness to be having sex with a trans woman. And most trans women still have a penis.
Okay, that was unneeded last statement, but
No,
Sorry.
yeah,
but
if a lot of men.
Hold on. Like, most trans women still have a penis.
What is your point with that statement?
Right, most men who are wanting to have sex with trans women or something like that, like, most men would probably consider that in some way, shape, or form gay.
But that's their opinion. I have no fine with their preference or opinions. My whole over point is the reason why this got brought up is I was just wanting to clarify that I don't care. That's their preference. But if they want to get up on a podcast with 4 million people saying that, oh no, any single man who decides to do that is gay, that's where I have a problem. Don't make your opinion a fact is all I'm saying, especially in front of 4 million people.
Yeah.
Is my whole point. He does not have to sleep with anyone trans. I would never call him transphobic for not wanting to sleep with a trans person. I probably won't end up ever sleeping with somebody trans in my life either. That's it's personal preference. It's just how Chase, and I'll even have people who agree with Chase, and they'll come in my comments saying like, I agree with him, but the way he went about it was arrogant and wrong. That's all I'm saying, is you don't have to be a dick about it.
He's
I don't
blunt.
think it,
He's
like-
blunt, but
You don't have to be a dick about it. You don't have to be a dick about it.
And I just
but
want to say
I
one
think
quick
it's like-
thing.
okay.
And I'll let you just come back in. So you said that your issue was that Chase was basically saying that it was a fact, right? And coming on the podcast and saying it. So are you saying that are you basically making the point that he's spreading fake news? Like,
I'm not
what-
saying he's spreading fake news. I'm just saying he's spreading hate, because there
Is
is I know men personally who would sleep or date a trans woman who are completely straight. They are straight men. They aren't. And I also know some men who would sleep with trans women. They are more bisexual on that more side. So I don't know if that's the reason why. So I'm saying it is hateful for him to get up here as a man and sit up here for those men who are straight and do hook up or date trans women. It's hurting the trans community, and that's how it turns out to being transphobic. Is my point. If he wants to sit up, I don't even give a fuck if he wants to sit up there with his homeboys and being like, yeah, I think that shit's gay, blah, blah, blah. Time and place. Time and place.
What about lesbians who don't want to have sex with trans women? They're actually finding that this is a problem. Like, because they're
not. It's
Nobody's making them have sex with trans
exactly.
women.
I'm not saying that's a problem.
Trans women are out here minding their own business.
Yeah.
Not trying to force people to have sex with them.
Right.
Nobody's making lesbians have sex with trans women.
Okay.
And there are a lot of lesbians who love and date trans women.
Yeah. But I'm saying, I think I understand where you guys are coming from. It's just that a lot of people do find some of these things to be problematic or interfering with the dating pool in general. But people would say the same thing about straight people, I think, as well.
Yeah, but how is it interfering in the dating pool? Like you said, it's less than 1% of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
is it
how
really
is it gonna
interfering in the
impact you?
dating pool? It's
No,
not.
like,
It's just them being
I'm more
bigots.
specifically talking about lesbians. Like, they're getting irritated because they'll be on dating apps and then there will be trans women there.
Speaking as someone who has participated very heavily in the lesbian community, lesbians don't feel that way.
Yeah,
Well,
I've never heard
that's
this
like
either.
Literally one sole experience.
Let
Like,
me
you
say
can't-
My
just coming from
experience
you
as
inside the
well.
community-
Hold on. So, like, you as a woman who dates women can speak for all lesbians.
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
saying
agree with
that
her.
this is
Well,
an
no,
issue
like,
that I
you-
hear
you
from
as one
outside of the
woman-
community. I hear straight people say this,
Right.
and I never hear lesbians say this.
Right. Okay. Like, that's wonderful. But you, as a single woman who dates women, speak for all lesbians.
Well, now we're
No,
two
I
for
don't.
two is what
but
I'm
I can
saying.
say that I've never heard a lesbian say that.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it
either.
would be. I imagine they wouldn't be saying that because it's a very small percentage of the population. I get where you guys are coming from, but I think like most of the arguments about transgenderism, like, it's too much to get in depth on this podcast. Like, we should have started on this topic.
Yeah.
People are mostly just concerned about their children being indoctrinated. That's the
like- and
biggest thing.
That's what's so, like, when I hear that, I'm like, damn, like, that's scary that you even think that's a possibility. That's not how this shit works.
No.
Maybe me, I'm from San Francisco,
Yeah.
gay capital, I would like to claim, of America at least. Was I influenced maybe a little bit by it? maybe, but there's the gay agenda, all that bullshit. When I hear that, I'm like, if anything, the people believing that sound very mentally unstable. Like they need to have some help because it's a lot of things going on in their own minds. It sounds like a lot of paranoia, a lot of things that just aren't true.
It's not, I wouldn't say that it's paranoia. Like, I think that's gaslighting a lot of parents. There is an element of indoctrination that's going on. I don't know when the last time you guys were in school, okay, but like even in Florida, that Don't Say Gay bill, they compromised on the 3rd grade. Why are we talking to children in the 4th grade about sex at all?
Well,
We
that
started
bill,
in 5th grade before.
just from a factual standpoint, that bill was not about teaching homosexual or heterosexual sex
I'm
to
aware.
children. It was just about representation for children that do have 2 dads. They wanted some sort of form of representation in the classroom, so they feel
Right.
included.
Well,
Which I don't think is as evil as you're making it out to be. I mean, I personally, you know, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you don't want to date a trans woman, you don't have to. That's more than fine.
But
that
some-
bill, bringing that into it, it's not a don't say gay. It's just about representation for people that want it.
That's not even like the title of the bill.
Just one thing.
Brian.
We are straying a little bit away from kind of the original thing, which was about the transgender stuff related to dating. Now we're getting into the Don't Say Gay bill. I think we should try to bring it, and I want to wrap up here in about 5 minutes, but go ahead. Did you?
No, like it's too big of a topic to get into
Yeah.
at the end of a podcast. But like it is unfair to concerned parents who see that children are pretty, easily influenced, that they're adopting some of these things as an ideology when they're not capable of this abstract of thought until, honestly, scientifically, until they're 25. To have that abstract of a thought. That's all that they're worried about, and I think that it's fair.
But it's like, how can you not see that that's all they're worried about? How that doesn't stem from a place of hate or something else? Because we've had video games with these kids killing each other in these video games for years, and we've already had so much evidence that. Let me finish. I've let you finish. We have so much more evidence about a lot of other things that are having a terrible influence on our kids, much worse than them growing up to be transgender or gay. So if you're growing up, if you're raising a kid,
Let's bring this back to dating. Let's bring this back to dating.
All right,
Let's
I'm not
bring
making
this
all
back
this
to
bullshit.
dating.
You keep interrupting us, and we're not going to get any. We're going to lose our train of thought.
But we need to bring it back.
No, I think
We're in the
we just
weeds
can't,
here. We're in the
'cause I
weeds.
think we're,
It's
like,
already
coming up on
late.
time.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, you can come on my podcast.
I'm gonna be down
Yeah.
because I'm just
So-
like, you brought this up. Why would you wait till the last 20 minutes?
Hey,
to
we
bring this up?
were talking about other shit, but
That was
we are
boring
gonna
the whole
wrap.
time.
You can come on mine. Don't worry.
But
No,
you know
I've
we're
been getting harassed about this I'm getting harassed. My family's getting harassed about this
Okay.
on all social media. So if I have a chance to talk about this, I would love to actually speak about it. That's what everyone's been waiting about in this podcast this whole time.
Well, we'll bring
about me and Chase's conversation.
we'll bring Chase back on, and
I've already told you I'll be willing to go back on with Chase.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Just really quick though, we got in the weeds a little there. I just want to wrap on this whole dating thing really quick and just kind of try to end the conversation here shortly. So, is it for example, for me, right? I would not want to date a trans woman. Is that transphobic?
No.
However, there are a lot of people that would say it is.
Well, we're not those people. So
I'm not saying you are. However, there is a narrative that is making its way into these sorts of conversations about if you wouldn't be willing to date a woman who's trans, so someone who's born as a male, that makes you bigoted.
Okay, well, none of
I
us here
disagree
think
with that. Yeah, I don't think that's transphobic at all.
But there's people out there saying that.
You got to get those people
Yeah,
out here then. 'cause
we all
don't
disagree.
agree with that.
At the end of the day, trans people want to date people who reciprocally want to date them, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it's transphobic for you to not want to at all.
Okay, fair enough. Ultimately, though, I mean, kind of my view on this is I don't view this, and I think a lot of people don't view it this way too. We're not looking at gender. We look at sex. And if two males engage in sex, that is by definition and by fact, it is gay, it is homosexual. I'm not making a judgment call on that, but it is biology.
You can look at it from the biological standpoint for sure, but the argument is coming from people who view biology and gender as two different things, which a lot of people do. So if you want to perceive it that way, that's fine. You don't have to have sex with a trans woman. But if people perceive it that way, they are not being forced to, and that they're completely entitled to that opinion as well.
Go ahead, Keeko, and then we'll.
So you would find it, I'm not putting my opinions at all, you would find it gayer for a man to have sex with a transgender woman than a masculine presenting like lesbian woman. You would think that they're more gay for sleeping with the transgender woman than the very masculine presenting biological woman just because of biology. Even if she's like wearing like, snapback, sagging down to the ankles, dressed just from the back, just
gay.
like. But but it's a biological woman, is it not? Is it not a biological woman? So is that not?
Yeah,
Wait, what is the question? What is the
I'm
scenario?
asking him does he think it's.
Into the mic.
I'm asking him if he thinks that it's gayer for a straight man to sleep with a trans woman than for a straight man to sleep with a very obviously masculine woman.
I have an answer for
They're
you.
both women.
Yeah,
This scenario is a man sleeping with two different women.
Well,
I
it's
agree.
not.
I agree. I personally
Okay.
agree. I totally personally agree with you.
Into the mic.
But
You gotta go.
I agree with you, but they keep coming from the standpoint that it's just biology. Biology is biology. As long as it has a coochie, it has a coochie. As long as it has this, that it was born with it, that's how it is. So in my eyes, I don't know. Personally, I think they're both women at the end of the day, but I would bat my eye at the sexuality more if you're hooking up with people who present themselves masculine,
so I'll answer
but just because they're a woman.
Okay, I'll answer your question. So it's not gay at all to hook up with.
Either?
No. It's not gay at all to hook up with the lesbian, butch, tomboy, whatever. That wouldn't be gay at all.
She
No.
meant butch. She meant butch.
Yeah,
Even if she was butch, it would not be gay.
Okay. You wouldn't be gay.
You're saying it'd be gay. You were saying
My personal opinion, I think either is gay, but I just don't understand how you could think.
You think both are gay?
No, I think
Neither.
neither. I think neither because they're both women. But I just don't understand from these men that come from this biological standpoint how you think you would be more straight for hooking up with a woman who identifies. I could even go as crazy, as I don't like saying this because I think I would be kind of misgendering somebody who doesn't even exist, but like a non-binary woman, for instance, because she's a non-binary biological woman, you would feel more comfortable hooking up with her, even if she showcases herself out very masculine, very manly. That's still more of a heterosexual activity than someone who's transgender.
Was she, or I don't know the terminology, was she born with a vagina?
Yes.
Is she biologically female?
Yeah.
That's not gay.
Okay.
Their presentation may appear more masculine.
I was
but
just curious. I thought about this.
I would
and I
not.
was just curious.
So what? I guess my question is, you said that they're both women, right? So what is a woman?
A woman is anyone who wants to identify as one.
Does anyone else want to? I mean, I'll respond to that. But
I fully agree.
what is a woman?
It's what they identify as.
That's a circular. You cannot. A cat is a cat because they are a cat. That's not like.
Do we have the brain capacity and do we move like cats? No, Brian. So let's not use that as an example. If a man wants to sit up here and tell me he's a man, then he's a man. I'm not going to waste my breath and my life trying to debate her on how she's not a woman. Like, why? I don't understand why you guys feel the need to like be so obsessed with this topic. Like, you guys, straight men talk about this topic more than trans or LGBTQ.
Not really.
Yes, I guarantee it. From someone who has a very heavily friends on both sides, my conservative friends talk about this topic so much more.
Here, I want to let the other girls. I want to let the other girls answer.
Please.
So I asked, what is a woman?
I feel like
This isn't a gotcha. It's just a genuine question.
I feel
What
like
is a
some
woman?
people
Hold
are-
on. Hold on. Go ahead.
I didn't have anything to say yet.
But what is a woman?
A person?
No, but what is the definition of what is a woman?
I don't know. I'm confused now.
I understand what your argument is. If I come out and I say a woman is someone who was born biologically a woman, I understand that that's where you're coming from. And I agree everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But I personally, as an individual, respect trans people. I
Sure.
respect trans women. So I'm not going to come on here and invalidate them by saying that. I understand completely where you're coming from. But just from my personal preference, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Answering the question. Okay. No, hey, that's okay. What about you?
I'm just not really interested in having this conversation about trans people anymore because you seem very clearly committed to misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Well, I am trying to understand. I'm just trying to get people's perspectives, but
Alvin Sam super chatted $100. Can a minor identify as an adult? Can Asian identify as Latino? Get the point, Keeko?
Alvin Sam, thank you. So what is a woman?
I'm gonna say what she said. I don't feel comfortable. I just feel like that's like not. I don't know. I feel like there's a better question that could be asked in this situation, and like I do see where you're coming from, and I see your thought process, and I understand what you're trying to get from us, but I think we all respect the trans community enough, and invalidating that, telling they believe that they are a woman or they're a man, transgender, whatever, and invalidating that is not it's not our position. It's not our place to say what they can and can't be. Is what I think.
Allie, what is a woman?
Well, a woman is an adult human female. It's the same thing, like a man is an adult human male. XX chromosomes, that means you're a woman. There are people that are born intersex. They're an incredible minority. And, men are humans who have XY chromosomes. But it's this is way too much to get into
Yep.
at the end of a podcast. Because, at the end of the day, I respect trans people. Most of them are contributing members to society, right? But,
M. Martin super chatted $100. I now identify as Keeko. Thank you for relieving me of this burdensome 148 IQ. It feels liberating to be in the double digits.
Did you want to continue? Or?
No, it's just a closing statement.
Yeah.
I think that it's possible that they're being harmed more than they're being helped by, validating an identity. I think that there's a lot more statistics to talk about how these people are, very high risk with mental illness or with things like drug abuse and things like that. And so, I just don't think that the answer to a lot of these psych issues is to get bottom surgery or top surgery or get on hormone therapy. But that's so much more to get into than I could do at this point in time.